So today I want to tell you why this exact model of Toyota Yaris is the absolute go-to when it comes to cars. So let's talk about why I think this is the most brilliant car you can get out on the market. So the actual reason I want to make this video is because it's very cheap, and I've had the Smart 4.2 and the Volkswagen Lupo at the same time. So when it comes to these cars, we really want to be looking at the mile economy. And when we're talking about the diesel engine here, this is probably one of the most economical diesel engines you can get out in the world, because it's 1.4 liter and it's have some older technology which is very economical. Normally most people would go and buy a new car, but let's be honest guys, not everyone can afford a car. So the problem with the Volkswagen Lupo, which is an awesome car, which is probably more economical than this one, but it's not the biggest difference. The reason I have the engine on is because it's diesel, so I want to keep it warm for the ride. But when it comes to the Volkswagen Lupo, it doesn't have that power steering which I love this car has. And also with the Volkswagen Lupo, the problem with that car, even though it's probably the world's most economical engine out there, it doesn't have that power steering, and it also don't have the proper exhaust system for being street legal. So that's a major issue. It starts from around $3,000, or you would say 2,500 euros, and it's probably the best car you can get out on the market. When Toyota make this car, they really put a lot of work into it, and you can see it on the driving comfortability. It have really much space in the car, which I will show you in a minute, and it's probably the best economical diesel engine ever. So when it comes to this competitor, which is the Volkswagen Lupo, as I said, the power steering on the Volkswagen Lupo is not so great. And on the Smart 4.2, the problem with the Smart is that it's a very small car, so it's dangerous to drive if it's very windy or the weather is very bad. Where this car, it can actually handle pretty most things. And also when it comes to the engine, even though it's a 1.4 liter, where the Volkswagen it's a 1.2 liter, and the Smart is 3-cylinder, where this is 4-cylinder. Even though this one has one more cylinder, it's actually very economical. The reason why is that the engineering behind this engine, the 1.4 liter diesel on this exact model, is one of the most economical engines you can get on the market. You can feel it when you pump the diesel in the gas tank. It just goes and you don't have to worry about it. You should be able to lock the door manually. So it's not the biggest issue, but just make sure that the lock works before you buy the car. If it doesn't, it's not the major issue, because the real actual key is here, so you can just lock the door or unlock it. Just make sure that the lock works before you buy the car. If it doesn't, it's not the major issue, because the real actual key is here, so you can just lock the door or unlock it. So yeah, I just wanted to show you how you start the car. So basically what you do is that you just put your foot on the brake, and you make sure that the stick is in the middle, which is saying this is N. N stands for neutral. Sorry. N stands for neutral, so if just make sure that the stick is in the middle, and you put your pedal on the brake, and you should be able to start the car. So that's actually just how you start the car. And every time that you are going to put the car in gear, no matter what you do on an automatic gearbox, you just gotta make sure you press the brake, and then you can press the reverse, or you can just go back, and if you put it down, then you will put it for the drive mode. It's very simple to drive an automatic gearbox. I'm very happy about it myself. I use it for every day. Not in this car, but I have another car which is automatic, so I think it's very amazing that you can just put it in gear and drive, so you don't have to use, there's only the gas there and the brake there. So this is just my foot resting. So here you can see how fast you're going, and this is the RPM counter. This is the clock, and hit there is your diesel measure. So you can see here, so it's not traditional. Normally it's around here, but everything is digital inside there. And now we're gonna go for a ride. I'm very excited about this car because, as I mentioned to you, this is probably one of the most economical cars you can get out there. And let's be honest, not everyone can afford a new car. I mean, I can personally, I cannot afford a new car. So this is why I really like this car. And I'm actually thinking about buying this car, but for now I have my E30, my BMW. Power steering on this car is absolutely amazing. And also we have a radio system here, so we can actually just turn on the radio, and if we want we can turn up and down the volume. We have some buttons here, and also I can just turn down the volume for you. You see it actually works pretty fine. And we can also change the radio station with these colors, so which is pretty amazing. We have the triangle here if we are running into problems on the highway, and we have the air conditioning system down here. We have also AC. So what is very important, friends, when you are gonna buy a car is that if you are living somewhere where it's very hot, where the weather is very warm, you should be looking for an AC, which is air conditioning. And not every car have this. And many people think that when they go and buy a car, they think that every car has an AC system, and that's not true. My car doesn't have an AC system, which means that it doesn't have a separate external ventilation system that's powered by some gas, some eco-friendly gas, which provides hot and cold air. So you should be definitely looking for the AC sign, and I will show you that it's actually right here. It's saying AC, which means air conditioning, so it's right there. I will show you. And what's important when you go for buying these cars, especially if it's an old car, that most old cars, they actually don't have an AC system unless it's a diesel. Most diesel, they have air conditioning systems, so that's definitely a plus. If the car has an AC system, that's definitely something you want to buy, because AC is very good if the weather is very hot, or if you live in a very cold country and you need some very hot air into your car in the morning. But for the most part, it's important if you just have the AC if you live in a very hot place. For me, it's not that important. I barely use the AC because I live in a country where the weather is always raining, so it's neither too hot, too cold. In the summer times, I can experience that the weather is getting very hot, but as I said, it's not important for me. For me, it's all about the economy, which I'm absolutely amazed for in this car. So I actually did 4.4 liter of diesel today before I made this video, and I've been driving a lot, and I still haven't seen the gasoline go down. So when it go down, it starts to blink, which is absolutely amazing. In my own car, 4 liter would not last so long. You can just travel for very cheap money. Toyota is a very, very good brand, especially if you're looking for a car. Toyota should be the go-to. I've been driving a lot of cars. If you are looking for a new car, I would definitely say Toyota or Volkswagen. I wouldn't look so much further. And if Volkswagen Golf, as long as it have the automatic transmission and the diesel engine, I feel very comfortable about that. A Volkswagen Passat will actually also do the job, but they tend to be very expensive in insurance, where this car is very cheap in insurance and taxes for the roads. You should check up on that before buying a car. You can call the insurance company. This car is very amazing. Driving around, I really feel that this car does something, especially because it's so cheap. And like personally, I wouldn't be able to go and just buy any car because I don't have the economy, and even if I do, I don't want to spend 200,000 Danish crowns on a new car. So, and now guys, we're gonna go to the highway and we'll see how this thing handles. as you guys can see here, I've been reaching 128 kilometers per hour without any problems. So this car is actually very nice, and the radio system is very nice. You can just turn up and down on the volume. So, and I really think for this money, this is a very nice car. The fuel economy, the diesel economy is absolutely crazy, man. I can't, like, this is the car I absolutely recommend. As I said before, it has some competitors. It has the Volkswagen Lupo diesel, which don't have power steering, so which is very hard in the steering here, where this is very light. And also the Smart, but the Smart is just very small. It's a dangerous car, and I've been driving the Smart. It's like the wind is like taking over when you're driving the Smart car, which was the experience that I had. So to sum up everything, this is just the perfect car if you have around the $2,500, $3,000 to spend on a car. And I definitely think that you should. So I definitely think that this is a car which you can spend money on. I want to say thank you guys for watching. I really hope you like this video. I hope you subscribe, and I want to talk about something last. I want to talk about the rust on these cars. When it comes to these Toyotas and older cars, usually they have a problem with rust, but this car has been doing 192,000 kilometers and I still don't see any rust on it. It's because it's a Toyota. Toyota just tend to make especially in these years, Toyota, they make very good cars. Where the Volkswagen Lupo, which is the competitor to this car, definitely has a lot of rust on it, if you just look on Craigslist. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. This one was the automatic version, and if you really want a good car, you should go for the automatic version, but they can be a little hard to find. If you can live with a manual stick instead, that's totally fine. I've been driving both cars, and the manual one actually has a little more power than the diesel, and it's tend to be a little bit more economical, the manual gearbox ones. But personally, I drive a lot. I like the automatic, but if you just want an everyday car, you can just go from A to B, then you should be fine with a manual gearbox.